Today, I was sitting on the floor of my hallway, overwhelmed and anxious, and my 3-year-old daughter looked at me and said, "Breathe, Daddy, breathe." That moment completely changed my day. I want to share what happened today, not because I handled it perfectly, but because I didn't. And I think a lot of people can relate. This morning I started doing something very simple. I started writing everything I needed and wanted to do today, like my to-do list. And almost immediately, I could feel my body reacting. Tension, racing thoughts, that familiar pressure. I wasn't even doing the tasks yet, just looking at them. There were practical things like groceries, decisions about my pet insurance for a new cat we just got, dealing with an EI claim, phone plans, messages I hadn't replied to. And then there were invisible things, like 19 unopened WhatsApp messages. Friends I love and miss, my family back in Brazil, conversations I want to have but can't find time for. On top of that, all the personal growth things I really care about. Books I bought, courses I paid for, programs genuinely want to do, but haven't had the space to fully engage with. To give some context, I'm married, I have a 3-year-old daughter, and we are immigrants in Canada without family nearby. We both have good jobs. We are present parents, and we are both committed to growth. But when you are trying to build something meaningful, take care of your family, stay emotionally healthy, and be a good partner and friend, the mental load can pile up really fast. I reached out to my wife this morning and asked for help, but I asked from a place of anxiety. So instead of connection, we both got stressed. She started trying to solve the problem. I felt more pressure. And suddenly, we were both overwhelmed. I could feel myself spiraling. So I sat down on the floor in the hallway, and my daughter sat with me. She looked at me and said, "Breathe, Papai, breathe." So I did. Nothing fancy, just air in, air out for a couple of minutes. And that's when I realized something important. When I'm anxious or stressed, it's usually not a good moment to talk, react, or make decisions. What I need first is to stop. Take a few deep breaths until my body calms down and my mind clears again. When we are anxious or overwhelmed, our nervous system gets overloaded. Trying to solve problems from that place usually makes things worse. Calming down isn't avoiding the problem, it's creating the conditions to deal with it properly. Once we calm down, clarity comes back naturally. I also realized something else. In that moment, I didn't need advice. I didn't need solutions. What I needed was to feel understood. So yesterday, we watched a movie called Inside Out, and that helped me see this very clearly. It's a beautiful movie about emotions. Joy, sadness, fear, anger, and how they all play a role inside us. So there is this scene where Joy is trying really hard to help Riley's imaginary friend who is suffering. Joy keeps trying to fix it, to cheer him up, to make things better, but nothing works. And then sadness sits with him. She doesn't try to fix anything, to give any kind of advice. She just acknowledges how painful this situation is and shares that feeling with him. And that's when he finally feels heard. That's when he responds. So that scene explains something very important. When someone is overwhelmed or hurting, fixing isn't what helps first. Understanding does. Acknowledgement does. Being heard, being seen. And once that happens, once the nervous system calms down and we feel understood, then we can think clearly. Then we can prioritize. Then we can take better actions. This is where something you learned becomes something you live. Real transformation only happens through practice and action. Story, awareness, action, transformation. Before we move on, I want to turn this into something you can actually practice, not just something you understand. So, this is the part where awareness becomes action. So, let's take this out of the mind and into the body. Today's take home action, if you're the one feeling overwhelmed, first, name what you're feeling without blaming anyone. You can say something like, I'm feeling anxious and frustrated because I don't know how to deal with everything I need and want to do right now. Then give yourself permission to pause, sit down, and focus on your breathing for at least 2 minutes. Air coming in, air going out. If you can do more, go up to 5 or 10 minutes, but 2 is enough to start. Your mind will keep trying to take control. Thoughts will keep spinning. Each time you notice that, just gently come back to the breath. This will calm your nervous system, help you see more clearly, and allow you to make better decisions. If you're on the other side, supporting someone who is overwhelmed, anxious, or stressed, don't take what they say personally. Listen first, relate first. Recognize that they are suffering or struggling with something, even if it doesn't make sense to you in that moment. Once they calm down, clarity comes back. And then, not before, your suggestions will actually be helpful. Today reminded me of something really important. When we are overwhelmed, the problem isn't that we are broken or incapable. The problem is that our nervous system is overloaded, and what we need first isn't more effort, but understanding. Calm doesn't come from doing more, it comes from feeling understood. And once we are calm, we can move forward, one step at a time. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. And if you're building a life while caring a lot, I see you. If this resonated, you're not alone. Growth begins with honesty. Awareness is the first step. Learn for Life Now exists to help people grow, heal, and transform through real stories, practical tools, and experiences that help us build a brighter future. This is a lifelong journey, and we are on it together. You can read every recipe in the world, but you won't taste anything until you cook yourself. So take at least one insight from today and put it into practice. Turn knowledge into experience, because that's where real transformation begins. Thank you for being here. And if you want to keep receiving content that supports your growth, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next. Thank you.